first world title fight for Zuffa Boxing. How excited are you?
Very excited, man. Excited to be part of this movement. You know, I believe Zuffa Boxing's got a lot to prove, and they're going to be moving at a fast pace. So it's exciting, man. I'm happy to be here.
You know, there's been a lot to say with the old school of boxing, talking about Zuffa Boxing. What would be your response to that in the criticism?
Sorry.
No, that light is kind of crazy.
Stas, can you move the light from over here, though? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of killing.
Thank you.
Yeah, what would you make?
It's a light.
So now that we're looking not like a horror movie, Jai, going back to my question, you know, a lot of the old school boxing, you know, talking about the sanctioning bodies, some of the fighters have a lot to say, even the promoters like Eddie Hearn. What would be your response to that? Please kill that light.
A little bit. We got a little light.
All right. What would be your response to them?
Well, unfortunately, man, you know, there's good and bad in everything. You know what I mean? But this is just the way the sport works. You know, there's no point fucking sucking and crying and saying this and that. It is what it is. You know, if you want to become undisputed, these are the facts that you have to, you know, you've got to roll with the punches. You know, and it's my dream to become undisputed. So if there's a fucking sanctioning fee, we've got to buy the belts. You know, I might not agree with it, but this is just how the world works, you know what I mean? It's like getting taxed. You know, nobody likes tax, but it's just how it is. So start whinging, let's fucking get the best fighting the best and move forward.
You know, speaking of the best fighting the best, Benavidez versus Zerto, they're going for the unification fight. Who do you have in that fight, and would you like to fight the winner?
Honestly, man, it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? May the best man win, and when they do, let's get it on. You know, I don't want no excuses. You know, I want the better fighter to win. I want it to be a good fight. You know, I want them to show, I want it to be promoted and be a fucking big fight. Because when we fight, it's better for me. You know what I mean? All I'm chasing is undisputed and legacy. You know what I mean? Everything else just comes with it. But I've always said the same thing. I've never taken my eye off the goal.
And last one for me, Floyd versus Manny at the Sphere. Who you got?
But Floyd versus Manny. You know, I hope they don't fucking hurt themselves. But they're two legends of the sport.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I grew up in the Mayweather era. You know what I mean? I was the fucking biggest Mayweather fan ever. First time I come to, you know, Vegas, bro, I was walking in the Mayweather gym like a little kid, you know. I was a little kid, but just how excited. I remember he made eye contact with me, bro. I was like, fuck, look at me, bro, he looked at me. So, you know, these are two legends of the sport, man. They're still hanging around, they're still doing their thing. But, you know, they got respect for the sport. You know, they know they're not fighting for world titles anymore. What they do now is about show business and just doing it for the fans. You know what I mean? They're not trying to take anything away from us. So, you know, let them do their thing, bro. It's not harming anyone.
Jai, focusing on your fight next week, what do you think are the biggest threats that Brandon Glenn brings as an opponent?
He's tough. He comes forward. He's got nothing to lose. You know, these guys are always dangerous. You know, but he can go out on his sword and be proud of it. So, you know, these are dangerous fights. You know, so man, we're prepared for it. You know, we're prepared for a dangerous 12 rounds, and we're fucking ready for a dangerous 12 rounds. You know, it's not just me in danger; it's him as well. So, you know, how tough is he? You know, how much risk does he want to take?
And I know you're focused on that fight, but obviously you did the face-off with Noel a couple of weeks back at another Zuffa fight. Is the plan right now to obviously take care of business first and then fight him right after?
Man, this is just all part of the media. You know what I mean? It's not even, you know, if it was up to me, I wouldn't have even done the face-off, to be honest, because I knew I wasn't fighting him. You know what I mean? I'm not into that social media shit. You know what I mean? Just building it up, but you know, people talking about it. It is what it is. But when his day comes, bro, I'm ready. You know what I mean? I've obviously got a big job to do. You know, Brendan's a tough opponent, and we're fucking prepared for a tough opponent. But man, we got to get the job done. You know, I don't want to look past this. You know, March 8th.
Will we see you walk out with the IBF belt?
IBF belt, Zuffa belt, ring belt. Hey, we got 3 now. What's next? You know what I mean? 2 now, sorry. Zuffa to add to the collection, man, and that's a nice looking belt too. So I'm pumped, bro. Pumped to be here.
Jai, we spoke to Zurdo. He said eventually he sees a fight happening with you. Now you signing with Zuffa, how do you see that fight happening, and have you had any of these discussions with Dana?
Eventually, like, what are we waiting for?
Yeah.
We've been waiting for a long time. Why? Why hasn't it happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I thought, don't we want to become undisputed? doesn't make sense why it hasn't happened to me. You know what I mean? We've been ready, but you know, these are the paths we've taken. He's got to fight. I've got to fight. Let's do it. Let's do our thing, and then, you know.
Yeah. Talking about why it hasn't happened, do you think boxing politics has anything to do with that? You know, I know Dana has said publicly that he doesn't really want to work with other sanctioning bodies, and you know, you want to unify being the #1 cruiserweight in the world right now. How do you see that kind of playing out with the WBC and you trying to unify with the winner of Benavides and Ramirez?
Honestly, though, there is a lot of politics.
Yeah.
My job's to win fights. I believe if I just keep winning the fights, the unifications have to come. All I've got to do is my job.
Yeah.
You know, the best have to fight the best eventually. You know, so I don't get involved with the politics or the, you know, he's arguing with him, this and that. Let's just get these fucking fights over the line. You know what I mean? This is why we're here. You know, we want the big fights. Do it for the fans. Don't you all want to see me versus Zerto? You know, don't you all want to see unification fights? It's a no-brainer to me. So I just got to focus on my job, and I believe that it'll come.
Now Zuffa is the new boss in town. Why Zuffa for you?
I just felt like it was perfect. You know what I mean? You know, I'm chasing legacy. I want to move at a fast pace. I want to get shit done. And they're the new kids on the block. They've fucking got something to prove. They're going to go out of their way to make statements, and then so am I. You know what I mean? So it just fits. You know, I felt like it was perfect. That, you know, everything they said to me was just fit. And to be honest, after being here, it's made me more confident about being part of the team. You know, I didn't know much about Dana, or, you know, you only see what you know on social media and shit like that. But fuck, everyone can talk stuff on social media and you don't know them. You know what I mean? But I've been here now. I've been at the PI multiple times, and you know, I've seen the way the sort of system works there, and it's really something to be proud of. You know what I mean? And I've honestly gained a lot of respect for Dana, and seeing the way he runs his business and the way he treats fighters and stuff like that. Because you just hear so much shit on socials, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't do this or does that. And I swear, people can't beat him from the outside, so they try and turn them against each other on the inside, you know what I mean? They try and make in-house beef, but it's, bro, we're proud of where we are. You know, we're here for a purpose, and we're here to do a job.
I've heard nothing but good feedback from all the fighters. And my last question for me, what message do you have to your opponent? Any tips for him getting in the ring with you?
Any tips?
Yeah. What do you have to say to him?
Bro, just, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? We're here to do a job, respect the sport, we'll just punch on, and then we'll fucking hang out later. I don't care.
Nice having you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jai, this is Saucy with Elite Champ TV. Talk about your background. I'm part Samoan, so you know, really, really happy to have you represent, you know, the people. Talk about how the heritage and just your bloodline affects the way you fight.
It's special, man. You know, not many people from our neck of the woods make it to these big stages.
Yes.
You know, it's a buzzy type of feeling. You know what I mean? I used to look at people where I am now, like, fuck, bro, I wish I could get there. I wish I could do this. And now we're here, you know what I mean? So it's just raising a bar, you know, it's raising a bar and showing these kids, bro, fuck, you know, I'm just like you know, I'm just from that same stupid shit, you know what I mean? Make those silly decisions, but I'm here now, you know what I mean? And it's sort of a buzzy feeling because I'm living proof, you know, if I can do it, why can't they? You know, I know it sounds pretty, you know, fucking this and that, but it's true, you know, we just kept our head down, stayed out of trouble, and just stayed on track, and we're here now. You know what I mean? So it's something to be very proud of, and just to have my last name up there with the change of boxing and this new chapter, and the Opetaia name is like a badge of honor to me. So I'm very proud to be here.
Absolutely, and we're so proud of you too. And you represent Australia and Samoa. How does that feel to represent both countries?
Oh man, it's special, man. You know, all of them, all the Pacific Islanders. You know what I mean? Fucking, I hung out with a lot of Tongans growing up, you know, Samoans, bro, everyone, all of the boys from back home, you know, those Samoans that feel like they're, you know, you're a Polynesian to the white people, and then you're a white guy to the Polynesians.
Absolutely.
You know, you're on the fence, you feel like you don't fit in and shit. This is my life, this is where I've come from, you know. So now look, they look up to me in a way, you know what I mean. So it's crazy. But like I said, we can't get ahead of ourselves. We've got a job to do, March 8th. So the hard work has to come first.
And last question, what would you say to anyone watching from Samoa that wants to be, where you are?
Go to the gym and train, because you don't fucking get here on accident. All right, train hard and protect your face.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Anyone else?
All good?
Thank you, Jai.
No problem, man.
Sweet,